Morning, folks. Today's soap is brought to us from TFS. If I can get, there we go. This one here is an older container. I think it's what may be considered on the traditional line scent profile, and this one here is Sandalwood. That's what it looks like. They're all good and washed out with the light. It's let's see here, 125 milliliters container. I'm going to be following the shave up with some Uncle Walter from TFS, and still using the Taconic Preshave oil, 2 pumps per shave, and still got quite a bit left. It's going to last a good long while. Blade of choice, go right along with the shaver, is King C Gillette, and this particular shaver came to me by the way of Stephen Sprague. And here's what it looks like there on the face, on the cap. It's already got the blade inserted there. This was the second release from Gillette. Got a knurling here on the top part, bottom part smooth. It's got a rounded handle there. This handle is brass, the best I can tell, and does have some weight behind it, but it's a pretty good looking shaver. Show you what the bottom of the plate looks like. It's done pretty well. Can't complain a bit about it. Already put a hot towel to the face this morning, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the pre-shave oil. 2 pumps. Make sure I count. Had a little bit of fun, I guess you might say, over the past weekend, day being Monday. Friday night was the local football game for Broken Arrow. They played Edmond, and they won. The game went well. And then Saturday evening, right around the 6 o'clock time frame, they opened the gates for the stadium again because the band was hosting a, well, I guess you might say, an encore presentation of the show must go on for Queen. And the price of admission was canned goods, and they take it to the food bank here locally, and excuse me, and had an awesome turnout. There wasn't very much room. Everybody was sitting on the home side there in the football stadium, and everybody there, it was pretty well packed. The gates opened at 6. When we got there at 5:30, there was already quite a few people already there. It was a well-attended event. I'll put a link down below. This is a very rare occasion for this particular band, referred to as the Pride of Broken Arrow. A lot of their stuff is copyrighted, so you don't see it till like maybe the year after. And this is a very rare moment due to COVID and everything else that's going on. Last time I checked, it's still up on YouTube, so I'll include the link down below. It is a pretty good show. At any rate, got the lather whipped up here in a bowl that I got from a beard knife, whipped up with a synthetic knot. This particular brush came to me by the way of Mac Metalworks, and it's just about drippy. It's pretty moist. It whipped up pretty good this morning. Go ahead and get the wet the face here and get started. But the concert was really nice. They not only played their performance of Queen, The Show Must Go On, but they also went ahead and performed some of the past year's performances, and which is pretty cool. I mean, especially since from what I understand, they didn't have a whole lot of time to practice the rest of the performances, and thought they did rather well. Sandalwood. My nose is actually picking it up this morning. I'll include also a link down below from Don from Wet the Face. He did a review on this particular shaver also. I'm kind of interested to see how it works for me. The knurling up here feels pretty nice, but I'm kind of concerned about the bottom part being kind of smooth. We're going to see how it works as well as this blade. I'll show you what the blade looks like at the end of the shave if I don't forget. From what I looked online, this particular shaver is still available at Walgreens if you're interested in picking one up. As it goes for videos, try and decide, because it's awfully hard to tell by the naked eye. It does, the bottom of it does look like, you know, like a Merkur 34. It does look like it, but sometimes you really don't know until you shave with it what kind of blade gap do you really have. In other words, how does it feel on the shave? Using the blade that came with it, I've only got 1 day worth of growth. I wouldn't consider these particular blades inexpensive. I know a few months back I looked in Walgreens just to check to see what the going price was in the store for these blades, and let's say they were priced at the point that I wasn't willing to pay for it. In other words, I've got plenty of other blades that I'm happy with. But these came with the shaver, so I thought I'd give them a try. Really can't complain. I mean, I can feel the blade cutting through the whiskers, but I don't feel any tugging or anything like that. Blade seems to be doing okay, at least on the first pass. Now, if you're trying to use it for multiple shaves, I'm not too sure how that would work. Yep, still picking up the scent. Nose is working pretty good this morning. I'm kind of surprised. I spent a good part of the weekend fighting sinus headaches and whatnot. Weather, when it's doing like it is right now, sometimes it can be pretty tough. Plus, it hasn't rained in a while, so there's a certain amount of dust that's in the air. Seems to affect my nose. It's whipped up pretty good. This particular soap, I've got a link down below. It's hard to find. There is a line of these, if you're unfamiliar with this particular line of soaps. There's the blue one, there's red, yellow, and green. So in other words, a total of 4 altogether. And it was a few years back. I'm wanting to say, when I got mine, it was already, how can you say, difficult to find, limited, where you could find it at. So it took a little bit to find these online. And what appear to be mostly in stock, or all of them are in stock. Like I say, it is from the traditional line, so the ingredients will be different than what some of their other offerings have. Matter of fact, their ingredient list is pretty short on this particular one. So far, I have to say it's a pretty smooth shave with the blade that was even provided with the shaver. You get 5 blades with the shaver, comes in the box with it. I forgot to bring the box in here, but this there's plenty of reviews of this particular shaver. Shave's going pretty, like I say, pretty smooth. Second pass done, and the third pass, yeah, pretty close in that I would need a third pass, and I don't know. If it was a pickup pass, it would be a, how can you say, a rather lengthy one. It's not quite as efficient as some of my other shavers, but still a nice shaver. How this particular shaver is also being marketed, I probably should mention. I thought was kind of interesting. It was the way it's been mentioned in the article when I was looking at it, about it mentions about folks with people like me that's got facial hair, and how a shaver like this would help with the lining up your beard or whatever the case might be. Thought that was kind of interesting. I against the grain. It is Monday. Against the grain is pretty smooth. It does recommend at about a 30-degree angle. A little bit of feedback on the against the grain. As long as you keep your hands relatively dry, free of soap, seems like the handle's doing fairly well. Well, if you're like most folks, you've already got several other handles that you, if nothing else, you could always swap it out if that was a concern. But this handle does have some weight behind it. For me, can't complain. It's a pretty nice shave. Nice and smooth. Worked well with the blade that was provided. Matter of fact, before I forget, rinse off a little bit more. I need to go ahead and take that apart and show you what it looks like. It's has what I would consider a perhaps a serial number to it. Or it might be a date code. I didn't look that close at it. A little bit different than some of your typical Gillette blades with it. You have numbers on the corners. And don't remember seeing that, but it looked like a code of some sort. Really didn't pay that close attention to the blade when it comes to that code. I think it comes, to me, comes more important if you were collecting these, to know what all that means. Base feels pretty smooth. Soap did rather well. Like I say, the ingredients are it's pretty small, limited. I think stearic acid is the water, then stearic acid. First two ingredients. So go ahead and take this part. Very small, very limited ingredients there. That's what it looks like on a base plate. There's not any markings on it or anything like that. It's pretty straightforward on the base plate, and the still got the etching there on the cap, and it looks like there might be a letter or something of the sort underneath. Probably doesn't really mean much of anything to any of us. And it may be kind of hard to see because this kind of etching, I don't know if you can see that etching or not. It's very light. Not the easiest to see. And on this corner right here, on this tab, is where the number is at. And it is not the easiest to read. Looks like 0016RH, whatever that should happen to mean. And on the back side, there's not any etching, but you got glue dots. Oh, and it was covered in just a plain wrapper also. Pretty nice smooth shave. I really can't complain a bit. If there was anything that I would be, how you say, concerned for some folks, is I don't know that the handle is going to be to a lot of folks' liking, just due to the fact that it's smooth at the bottom. Alum block here, Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. That is a mouthful. Crown King, complete with rubber band this morning. No stinging. I didn't think there would be. Blade did pretty good. I mean, I could feel it going through the whiskers on the first pass, a little bit less on the second. Across the grain, then against the grain, it was pretty smooth sailing at that point. If I got this figured right, I think I know it says on the packaging that the handle is this handle is made here in I think it was in the States. Or is it China? No, this was made in China. I think the blades are made in Russia. Doesn't really mention the cap and base plate, in other words, the head. Kind of sort of assumed that maybe it's because they're both made in the same place and just didn't feel the need to mention all that. Got some Stirling witch hazel. This one here is unscented, but it is mentholated. I do have the scent profile down below for Uncle Walter. To the best of my knowledge, I do not believe it's in production anymore. TFS, some of their packaging to me is somewhat unique, and I do appreciate it. And if a person could read all of that right there, in other words, it's got the scent pyramid right there, thought that was pretty cool. I've mentioned it before in some of my older videos where I've used some of TFS's aftershave, that scent profile being on the label. If you, in other words, understand that language, it is pretty nice to have on there. And I'll show you what the restrictor looks like here in just a moment. This is one of those that I would say is a well-blended scent. It's good for a Monday morning for me. Definitely I can actually pick up the scent. I can smell. It smells great. I do like this particular scent. Got the matching soap also. That's what the restrictor looks like. I haven't picked up any of TFS soap of recent history. I've got quite a bit of it. I got several tubs of soap and a few aftershaves, and decided maybe I need to venture out, broaden my horizons. But of the blue, yellow, red, and green tubs, this is the only one I have that has a sticker on the front, and it doesn't have any of the imprinting that the others do. I will do a few, maybe one or two other shaves with the rest of them, and just so you get an idea what the others look like, and plus there's the the scents, if you will, that I think they felt like was a traditional type scent. Face is feeling really good this morning. I could still feel the cooling effect. Pretty nice. Enjoyed this morning's shaves. This was this is a nice shave. If you're interested, like I say, I've got a link down at Walgreens. They seem to have the, I guess you might say, complete line of these kind of products right here. This is the only one I have. Like I said, this one here is sent to me by Steve Sprague, and really appreciate that. Makes for a great shave on a Monday morning. Hope everybody's healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.